and my hail plan cost me $240 an acre. So what you can do, and let's say, well, I wanted to add that $50 increase replant option on there. It's going to give you your total cost per acre here. So if guys want to know exactly what they're going to be charged for their total insurance package, this Agro Pro is a pretty good tool to use because it'll show everything that you have. And then down here, if you look at these tabs, it'll tell you more or less what your liabilities are per acre. See, your total insurance package, you're guaranteeing yourself $813. 576 of that comes from the multi-peril, 237 comes from hail. So it's kind of a neat way to see these. So, and then again, if you wanted to run a indemnity, let's say prices they were down $3, and you're going to get this error. I don't know. It could be because I'm in last year's information, but I'll try to work around this. And what it's doing here, I'm going to see at the top, it's telling you your insurance payment. If prices were $3 and you yielded $151, what your insurance payment would be, it'd be a total of $333. 122 comes from your CRC plan, and 211 comes from your hail plan. So when you're running an indemnity, it's assuming that you had hail damage, enough hail damage to start collecting at least 5%. So that's why the hail policy is paying in so much. So let me get out of that, and I wanted to let me go into now. If you just have a hail policy, I think I'm gonna. All right, we'll go to a basic here. Let's get back into. Let's do corn. I want to show too quick an enterprise unit plan here. You need to make sure, again, when you're running an enterprise unit, we check enterprise unit and make sure that we have the acres correct. So you have, let's say you have 550 acres of corn. Your average APH is 170. You hit apply, and make sure you're on insurance cost. That's. I'm going to do a quick comparison here. Let's compare what enterprise units would be to optional units. So I'll go into the second and change this from enterprise units to optional units. Hit apply. And you can see enterprise units is going to be quite a bit less again this year. What else? There's also, what else did I want to show before we left? I know most of you don't have this option available, and I'm currently working on it to see what if I can get this uploaded into your guys' quoter. Everyone's going to have their own separate username and password, but what I'm going to be sending out to all of our customers is I have all of the policies that we insured within this quoter. So I'm going to pick on like my brother-in-law's policy, they can do this. Will take the information that Agro has, his policy he had last year, and it puts it into the quoter, and it puts it into a full farm quote. And what it does is it takes what his, which is nice because it takes his APH from every single farm, and it'll tell me what the cost per acre is, what his premium is going to be if he has the correct acres in there. So like on this example, he has the home farm last year. He had 68 acres. It has an APH of 180. This year, if he stayed at his current plan, the net premium would be $17 an acre. So and what you can do is go in and edit the line. So if you wanted to change his plan of insurance or change his acres, you can do that on a per line basis. But what I'm going to do is, I believe I'm going to send these out, and let me see here what we'll do. It's just kind of an example of if you kept your insurance the same, roughly this is what the price is going to be this year. Now, most guys might want to keep their plan the same, but they're probably not going to have the same acres listed. So what I'll probably do is go in and delete get to 0 acres, and he just needs to focus on this area right here where it shows his bushel guarantee. It'll show his coverage per acre guarantee, and then it'll show the premium right here. So I'm going to try to see if I can't get your guys' all of your customers, and we'd have to have your own username and passwords for that. But and you guys would have access to this. But if there is a guy that or if you want your customers in this format, let me know and I will get that to you. There's another neat way if there's a multi-level quote, and what that does is, let's say, I know he probably wants to choose anywhere from 75 to 80. I believe he chose 80% last year, but if he's just curious on what it costs for 75 or actually going up to 85%, what this does is it'll go on a per farm basis. So again, at the home farm, if he chose 75%, this is what his guarantee is going to be. If he chose 80% and 85, and then here's the premium. So I think that one's more appealing to guys to see exactly what the numbers are on a per farm basis and what the premium is going to be on a per farm basis. So let's see here. A quick, I'll show. That's pretty much how I run most of my quotes now. If I do a basic quote, what I normally do, I want to make sure I have all this information in here. Let's just say it's an optional unit basis. Let's say this is 100 acres. All right. If you want to print quotes off, what I like to do, there's several ways of printing these out. You go up to print at the top, and you can either do a basic Agro quote, which it'll basically show what's on our screen here. It'll show the bar graph and everything, just like you have it. Another way of doing it is, what I like to do is go to a sheet quote. And what I can do is most guys' APHs kind of vary from farm to farm, but let's say I know this guy, his is probably anywhere from 150 to 170. And I'm going to do it in increments of 5. And I want to choose 70, 75, 80, and 85%. And what this will do is it'll be a sheet quote on this revenue plan. So what he can do is he can find his APH, and then he can kind of go across the screen here and figure out, well, I want 75% coverage. Well, my APH is 160. I'm going to be guaranteed $120 or $722, and it's going to cost me $24 an acre. And then, as you can see, as his APH goes up, the price goes up a little bit, but it doesn't go up very much. So that's another way of, if you wanted to do, say, a mailing to your customers, or some new potential customers, or if you do not want to, if you don't want to carry your laptop around, a way of doing a quote would be, let me see, if we did a comparison quote and chose, we'll do this one as a revenue, and then we'll do this one as a harvest price exclusion. Hit apply. So we have 2 different quotes here, and you can print them off on a sheet quote. And same thing, you choose your APHs you want to run through. Let's do 200 increments of 5. The preview. Let's see what this does. It could. What I've done in the past is I just printed off a couple sheets. It's all on one sheet of paper, and it gives you quite a bit of range here. So if you're going around and one guy always wants to have a harvest option, his APH is 180. I mean, you have all this information all on one page, what it's going to cost him, what his guarantee is. But if you have someone else that they don't want the harvest option, then you could choose the harvest price exclusion, find his APH, and then work your way across the screen. So this is a good tool here to keep with you, because it has most of the prices all the time. Another thing just to keep in mind when you're talking to people about quotes, and if his current agent or another guy stopped by and his price was cheaper, well, no matter what plan he picks, you're going to pay the same price no matter where you go. So you might be using a different spring price than the next guy, or there's that volatility factor is in there. So that might be something to, if one guy says, well, his is cheaper, well, you got to keep an eye on, what is he using for a volatility factor and what's the base price. So those are some things we run into every year that people don't understand. I believe I pretty much covered everything that the way I run quotes, and the easiest things for me to do when I'm running quotes. I'm going to open it up here